The story begins inside a dark, spooky forest. The forest was so dark that being trapped inside was the last thing you wanted to happen. But that is exactly what happened to an unlucky blonde man. He was panting heavily inside the dark forest. An arrow pierced the man's leg. He tried his best to endure the pain in order to escape the forest, but his legs got numb, causing him to fall down. While he was trying to remove the arrow from his legs, he saw his comrade running as it shouted to ask for help against a strange monster. The man's name was Dale. He was a tall knight with long brown hair. Dale's face was pale because he was worried that the monster might catch him off guard. The blonde man tried his best to calmly ask Dale where the other men were. Dale told the blonde man that everyone was already killed by the fierce monster, and it was only a matter of time for the monster to catch them. The monster was introduced. It had a huge mask made from an animal skull. The monster's lean muscular body was covered by tattoos, and it had a blade and a blow dart. The blonde man was not convinced by Dale's story. With an angry look on his face, he told him that it would be impossible for them to be wiped out because each member of the squad was above level 40, and they were all PK pros, so there would be no chance in hell for such a monster to defeat them easily. Their conversation was cut short when something pierced Dale's head. The attack was already enough to take Dale's life. The blonde-haired man was shocked at how quickly the monster took Dale's life. Before Dale hit the ground, his head suddenly exploded. The blonde-haired man was shaking because he couldn't believe what he just saw. His comrade was brutally killed right in front of him. With a fierce look on his face, he draws out his sword ready to take down the bastard who took his comrade his life. The blonde knight points his sword toward the monster. Despite his fear toward the monster, he tried his best to ask for the monster's identity. The question just made the monster angrier towards the blonde man. It looks like the red-haired monster and the blonde knight has a history. The scene shifts from the spooky forest to a huge black castle. The castle has a bridge, and underneath the bridge is lava. Inside the castle, a bunch of corpses was lying on the floor. Everyone was mercilessly killed by a huge black monster with a big demonic horn. That is when our hero was introduced in our story. Our hero's name was Jinsung. His status was Battle God Damien with a level of 904 and Field of Honor rank 1. It looks like our hero was in a dire state. He is under a lot of debuff spells such as Weakness, a state where all stats were decreased. Bleeding, a debuff where his max HP was decreased. Our hero finds it weird that a lot of debuffs were cast upon him, because he never encountered this kind of situation before. His face looked pale and he started coughing blood due to the unending ambushes of the monsters. Our hero is starting to lose hope. He looks above while he says to himself that there is no way for him to finish the quest because not even Saint Magnus or the High Heaven Immortal would be able to heal him because of his situation. While our hero talks to himself, a man with red earrings pops into the picture. He smirked at our hero and sarcastically praised our hero for holding on despite having a lot on his plate. The man with earrings' name was King Arthur. It was revealed that King Arthur was the Demon King and he was also the leader of the expedition. He applauded our hero for being persistent. Our hero was furious because he gave his complete trust to Arthur. With his remaining strength, he tried to run towards Arthur in order to take revenge. But before our hero reaches him, Arthur uses his monster's ability to prevent our hero from reaching him. Our hero was in excruciating pain as Arthur constricted and tortured him with his lightning ability. The pain was so agonizing that even a man who was so powerful like our hero could not handle the pain. A system message popped up when our hero was about to lose consciousness because of the torture. It was stated that the system may log him out because his stamina threshold was not enough. Because of Arthur's sadistic behavior, temporarily stopped torturing him in order to prevent him from logging out. Our hero was breathing heavily when he asked Arthur why he betrayed him. Arthur looked at our hero's eye and gave him a smile, and when he was about to answer the question, something happened. One of Arthur's monsters started to receive a lot of buffs. While it was notifying Arthur, the monster suddenly attacked him. Arthur was pissed because his conversation with our hero was cut short just when it started getting fun. He looked behind him ready to face the monster's attack. He extends his right arm and starts casting his ultimate skill, the multi-leveled Weather Reversal Realm Destruction. The spell created a whirlpool made from fire, which took down the monster instantly. Not even a single trace of the monster can be found from such a powerful spell. Even though our hero's hate toward Arthur's is immeasurable, he can't deny the fact that Arthur's ultimate was impressive no matter how many times he saw it. Now that there will be no one to intervene with them, Arthur resumed his topic on why he decided to betray our hero. He told him that it was because humans have individual positions. He punched our hero right to the solar plexus because he wanted to leave a statement to our hero. Our hero fell to his knees because of Arthur's punch combined with his exhaustion from the quest. He wanted to protect himself from the attack, but his body had already given up. You see, Arthur has a messed up mindset. While he was stomping our hero, he told him that a loser should live like a loser, a garbage should act like a garbage, and the lower class should act like the lower class. He couldn't believe that someone from a lower class family such as Jinsung was considered a hero. That's why for him our hero was an eyesore. Arthur gave our hero his most wicked smile while he was telling him that the world must be stupid to treat him as a hero. The situation is getting dire. Our hero is losing consciousness and the Demon King Arthur is about to achieve his evil plan. While he was losing consciousness, he started questioning himself. He asked himself, where did things go wrong? Flashback to 10 years ago, the first ever virtual game titled Arceus Chronicle, also called AC, was released. The game was ahead of its time. The game has pulled people in with its amazing lifelike graphics and lively NPC. The game's main event offered the first person who cleared the quest the ability to establish a kingdom and become Arceus Chronicle's first ever world hero. The first person who can finish the quest will also receive an astronomical trophy. That's why all of its players are desperate to clear the quest. Most players of the game have put their everything into Arceus Chronicle, and our brave hero was one of those players. He spent most of his time grinding the game. He did everything to become the first player to finish the quest. He was ready to take down every monster that got in his way. It didn't matter if it was on the land, sea, or the skies because his goal was already set. He lost his connection to some people in the process. He even abandoned his mom and need just to clear the quest. His brother also told him to stay away from him, because a game addict such as our hero shouldn't even call himself Big Brother. But despite the negative thing that happened, our hero remained stoic. He poured his entire life into the game for 10 years. Even though his family discouraged him from playing the game, he did not listen to them at all. Because for him the game was his entire life. That's why he was doing his best to get the reward to make up for his ruined life. In the process of the grind, he met King Arthur, whose real name is Jeong Yuman. King Arthur was a handsome young man. He was a servant of the goddess Area, and he possessed the infinite circle ability which gave him unlimited mana. With King Arthur's warm personality and charisma, the adventurers trusted him completely, making him to be the leader of every expedition. Thanks to Arthur's help, everyone in the party, including our hero, was able to reach the dungeon of the Demon King's castle. Now back to the present, our hero was looking helpless from King Arthur's assaults. Our hero tried to stand up on his feet, but once again he failed to do so. Well, I guess the world needs people like you, said by King Arthur with a smug look on his face. Arthur thanked our hero for helping him beat the dungeon and kill the Demon King. Were you planning to betray me from the start? Said our hero. And of course, the evil King Arthur had planned it from the start. He pointed his staff toward our hero to hit him again. He hit our hero with a barrage of attacks using his staff. Our hero was unable to defend himself from the attack. He told our hero that he's a piece of shit and a useless parasite. He also told him how much he hated our hero from the start, and he was glad that finally, he could kill our hero with his bare hand. Our hero had already given up. He started asking himself if this was the day that he would die, and it was all because of this traitor. He also regrets dying without accomplishing anything. But then our hero heard a faint voice. The unknown voice is asking him if he would like to take revenge against King Arthur. Our hero was shocked by what he just heard. The faint voice was coming from the smoke, in which our hero immediately noticed it. Our hero was desperate. He wanted to take revenge on King Arthur no matter what. So, he tried his best to reach out to that smoke. The voice identified itself. Its name is Abraxas, an old evil and the Lord of the Abyss. Abraxas told our hero that he understood how he felt, and he wanted to help him by continuing the old evil's progress he already started. King Arthur saw our hero reaching out to something. He was shocked at the fact that our hero was still alive despite the pain he put him through. His eyes turn into something demonic while he asks our hero how he is still alive after what he just did to him. So, Arthur viciously attacks him once again. This time he will make sure that he will crush our hero's skull. While our hero was getting hit, the voice told our hero that he was appointing him as an avenger so he could kill the goddess of light Area. King Arthur's never-ending attack continued. He started casting his ultimate spell to finish our hero once and for all. King Arthur used all of his magic power to kill our hero. Before our hero gets hit by the devastating spell, Abraxas tells our hero that he will be the one who will bring a second coming of chaos to this land. Now back to the real world. The sun shines bright as usual in our hero's home. The next thing we see is our hero jumping out of his bed as if he has just awakened from a terrible nightmare. He was sweating profusely because he thought that King Arthur had finished him off already. Our hero is experiencing confusion. He's unaware of where he is despite being in his own apartment. But a few minutes later he snapped himself back to reality, but he was still wondering how the hell he got transported back to his apartment. Someone then opens the door. It turns out that the guy who opened the door was his brother Jinhoon. Jinhoon is inviting our hero to come down and have breakfast with them. Our hero was shocked by what he heard because he knew that his relationship was going downhill ever since he started grinding the game. So, he asked Jinhoon if he was the real Jinhoon. Jinhoon was dumbfounded at our hero's question. "What the hell are you talking about?" said Jinhoon to our hero. Our hero said to himself that his brother should be in the military right now as an officer. So why the hell was he wearing a school uniform? His brother slammed the door and left because of how our hero acts toward him. Our hero thought that he was going insane because there was no way that Jinhoon was living with him in the same house. His question was answered when he saw something on his wall. It was the calendar, and the date was June 28, year 2020. It was the time when Arceus Chronicles Beta was released. That is where our hero concluded that he was back in the past. In the next chapter, we can see that our hero is having his breakfast. His mother was shocked to see our hero enjoying every bite he takes. So, she asked Jinhoon why was our hero acting weird. But Jinwoon also had no idea. He was also confused just like her mother. Our hero is crying from happiness because of how much he misses her mom's home-cooked meal. Our hero showed his gratitude toward his mother by telling her that her home-cooked meal was the best in the world. He suddenly felt nostalgic because he felt like he was a child once again. He remembered all his cherished memories with his mom and Jinwoon. His mood turned sour when he remembered how healthy her mom was back then compared to his previous life. Just when he realized that he was eating for too long, a TV commercial popped up. It's Arceus Chronicles' first live TV commercial, and a lot of people were hyping its release. His brother also saw the commercial and asked our hero if he knew anything about the game. Our hero couldn't answer him at first because it was all because of that game on why their relationship got bitter. In the end, our hero has no choice but to answer his brother's question. He told him that it's a virtual game with very realistic graphics. However, his brother doesn't buy his explanation. Jinhoon teases and calls our hero a liar. Even though he was being teased, our hero's mind was still all about the game's open beta release. With so much anger still at him, he slammed the table. He decided to go back to their hometown to participate in the open beta. Before he left, his mom told him not to push himself too much, and that if he ever needed help, he should call her. With a sweet smile on his face, he told her mom to also look after her health. He then told the driver to go to the station as quickly as possible. Inside the taxi, he reminded himself that he indeed went back to the past. The time when the Galaxy M24 app was released as the best capsule to play the game. It was also his toughest time because at this time he started to become the financial provider of the family because his father developed an illness and became bedridden. He couldn't bear the weight of being the family head, so used the game as an escape from reality and cut his connection with his family. So there is no way that he will ever forget those hard times. While he was reminiscing about the past, he saw something familiar beside him. It is the game's notification telling him that the countdown has started, and he only has 167 hours, 59 minutes, and 58 seconds to log into the game. These notifications confuse our hero because he still hasn't logged into the game yet. Our hero suddenly heard a voice. The voice in his head was so loud that he started having a migraine. Our hero was sure that he heard this voice before, but he wasn't sure exactly when did he started hearing it. Looks like our hero's revenge arc is coming very soon. Will he be able to avenge his past self? Despite being back to the past, his enemy King Arthur is still a formidable opponent. Join me in part 2 of this manhwa and together let's witness our hero's revenge arc. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell to be updated in our future videos. Until next time.